morning, everyone. Good morning, David.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ian.
How are you this morning?
I'm well, thank you. And looking forward to the weekend.
Oh, yes. It always gets that way, doesn't it?
The second weekend without football at Soap Dish on Sunday morning.
Yeah,
aren't you looking forward to that?
Very much indeed. Yep. And at this stage, if people turn up on Sunday morning, we'll take their money off them for Rocky Bay. And that's at the Greater Union 8 in the Loo. And it's going to be a great show.
Be there at 10 o'clock. Only $10 a head.
That's all. And all to Rocky Bay. What a show we've got today.
If you don't turn up, I'll have more Andrew Garrett than you.
Not more than me, though, I'll wager.
Oh, no. Our refreshment at the end.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, with a little orange juice as well. Some people will have the orange juice. We've got a great show lined up today. It's all singing, all dancing, isn't it?
It's show number 159, and I think it is going to be the best. I mean, who could better the talents of Rolf Harris, the Shantuzis, and this man?
Oh, he's absolutely wonderful. Arguably the greatest pianist in the world today.
Well, Arthur Rubinstein doesn't say arguably. He says the best, including himself.
Isn't Arthur dead?
Yes, but I'm coining the phrase.
Yeah, indeed.
He did.
And before I forget, 1962, McHale's Navy began on television on this day in 1962.
Isn't that funny? We're talking not about the Love Boat today, but the Fair Star. Nothing to do with McHale's Navy, but it's just nautical.
Well, cast a wide net, you might catch a sprat. I think that's exactly what we've got at the moment.
What a program.
I think it's time that we got into some real entertainment now. As we said, the greatest pianist in the world today. Playing for us, Moszkowski Study No. 1. Here is Dimitris Sgouros.
Under the mighty big top in a 2-hour action-packed show of family entertainment. Starts Friday, 27th September at McCallum Park. Phone bookings on 362-1611 or check your newspaper for details.
After all these years, I certainly know a bargain when I see one. And I've personally selected only the best for this month's Archie Martin box catalogue. Sharp 8-hour video recorders are just $495. Admiral Washer guarantee it.
Well, welcome back, everyone, and here's the maestro himself. Dimitris, that was absolutely wonderful, and thank you very much for sparing us the time on what has been a very hectic tour of Australia.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure when I heard about your invitation. I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's wonderful for you to join us. I imagine it's very difficult when you play any piece of music, you obviously throw yourself right into it. To then stop the adrenaline running to come and talk on television must be sometimes very difficult.
It's fun. It's something different than what you usually do after a concert. Well, after the concert, you also have to meet your audience and sign programs and records. So it's nice to have that sort of chat today.
We'll come to your concert in Perth tomorrow night, Saturday night, and then you go to Darwin. It has been a very hectic tour. I understand you do something like 100 concerts a year. Do you ever get tired of all this?
I never get tired of all of this. First of all, I would like to tell you that although I get more than 5 or 6, sometimes 100 invitations for concerts for every year, I just try to choose what I think the best are. So sometimes I do 100, sometimes I do 80, sometimes 90, so I have some spare time and free time to enjoy myself too.
Well, this is your third visit to Australia.
It's my fourth visit to Australia.
Well,
in '89, I came back twice. Once from February to March, and then back in May with the USSR State Symphony Orchestra as their soloist. This is actually the fourth tour of Australia.
Do I detect then that you appreciate Australian audiences? Do you like being here?
I love being in Australia. I love in particular this country. That's why I'm coming back, although my schedule is so tight. And I'd like to say that I'm very glad to be back in Perth, a place I especially love. I've got a quite big audience, and I can't wait to play for this audience.
Do you find Australia, of course, has a large Greek content? I think you're aware of that. In fact, I think Melbourne, for example, is the third highest Greek content in the whole world.
Unfortunately, well, fortunately or unfortunately, from one time, I'm very happy that I'm playing in sell-out audiences that are mostly Australians and, of course, foreigners and tourists. On the other hand, I'm not very happy that the Greeks actually don't come to the concert.
Oh, they don't? Don't they appreciate the music?
I don't really know, but we've got very, very few Greeks, and especially in Sydney and Melbourne, where there are these huge, large Greek communities. And they come, a lot of Greeks, of course, that they appreciate classical music and they like me, but they're maybe... Greeks in Greece is a bit different. There you get a much bigger audience than what the Greeks hear. So I'm very happy to have such a big Australian audience during my Australian
tours. We certainly love our music. You're a veteran at the age of 21. You were 21 just in August this year. Did you have a chance?
I was 22 this August.
Oh, were you?
So I have to tell you whatever.
That's okay, because it really is immaterial. You started so young. At the age of 8, you were being called brilliant. Then you're on top of the music world. You're still a very, very young man. Do you think with your hectic tour and your commitment to classical music that you've missed out on anything else that a normal teenager or a young man of your age normally has?
Nothing, of course I didn't. That's a question everybody asks me, actually, to see if I missed anything from my childhood. No, I practically didn't. And maybe that has to do also with the way that I'm practicing more with my brains and my whole brain. And, you know, sometimes I don't even go at the piano and practice unless if I'm learning something new, which wouldn't take me very long. So instead of doing a lot of technical exercises, I just go sometimes out and enjoy myself. And when I think I have to concentrate into the piece, sometimes even before the rehearsal, I just take the score while I'm anywhere. And that's a sort of practice of, with, you know, big concentration. I feel very comfortable practicing that way. I don't really need to spend very many hours doing exercise or gymnastics in the piano, as most people do. And that doesn't keep me away from the things that other people of my age do in their lives. I'm very happy about it.
You know, of course, that it's school holidays in Australia, or particularly in Western Australia right now, and we'll have many, many students who saw that piece today that you performed and would just give away the piano forever. You are a maestro. Obviously, well, things come very, very easy.
I don't think they should give up, because everyone has got a different sort of style, and everyone can become a very good artist in its own way. And
I was hoping you'd say that.
One artist cannot be compared to another one because a different sort of style, as I said, and personality, so everyone can have and is allowed to have its own personality.
Do you concur with the thought that you were blessed, that you are a maestro, that you've got just an incredible memory, that you were just born to play the piano? Do you see it that way?
I wasn't born to play the piano. Maybe what I have to admit is maybe I was born to become a musician, but I hadn't realized that up to the age of nearly 6.5 years old. My mother used to play the piano, as most girls at that time used to, you know, to learn a little bit the piano. So we had the instrument at home, which I was just watching it as a furniture when I was very little. And I hadn't even touched the keyboard up to the age of 6.5. When I met my mother's teacher. She was an old lady, a friend of ours. And the first thing she asked me when I met her was if I wanted to start taking lessons with her. I said yes, and that was all. Maybe if I wouldn't have said yes, I wouldn't be a pianist today.
You didn't touch the piano.
I would be a medicine doctor as my father.
And your younger brother, of course, wanting to study.
Well, he's studying. He wants to study medicine, and he has got a very good brain also for mathematics and astronomy and that sort of things. And he's very musical, actually, my brother.
Show me those hands. Show our audience those hands. Those fingers.
Well, the necessary thing for the artist is not the fingers, you know, how large they are and how big they're actually here. The length is not very important for me. I think what is important, and for me, you know, most artists is how large they are from the fifth finger to the first finger, and the distances in between, so they're large enough to be able to conquer a piece of music, or be able to be aware of these huge technical difficulties that sometimes are behind these pieces of music. And I don't think that the length of the fingers would help more in avoiding these problems.
Dimitris, thanks for sparing us the time again.
It's been a pleasure.
The concert hall, folks, is where you can pick Dimitris up tomorrow night. There are tickets at the door. However, box outlets will get you into the concert hall, where recital program number 1 with the Beethoven, Liszt and Chopin will be played by this man, Dimitris Sgouros. All right, let's go and see what's happening at Burswood. Here's Ian talking with John.
No wonder I can't even play chopsticks. You require fingers to play the piano, as we've just discovered, and with these trotters it's impossible.
I was going to say, what are they?